Hey there everyone and welcome to React Native Design Special course. In this course, we're going to move ahead with the React Native. So before you want to I know you just want to go ahead into the code editor and want to write some code. We will do that for sure. But let me first focus on a couple of situations that you're about to face. And I have been teaching this exact course onto webinars to a variety of students in the bootcamp, and I know that what kind of situations you are about to face. So let me handle those situations so that you don't get frustrated first of all, and then we'll move on. Now, just for the sidebar, on to those users who are really like professional already and want to just explore the things on their own and already aware with the things like Expo, can just skip those sections and can directly move on to the section where we have created our very first app. Now, let me just walk you through a couple of situations that you're about to face, and let me give you solutions of that. Now, first of all, the problem number one is not having updated operating systems. Now, whether you're in Windows or Mac or Linux, whatever the case is, make sure your operating system is up to date. The guys at Android and Expo and all these tools work really hard to make sure that their app is compatible with the latest operating system, whatever the Microsoft or the Linux guys has to offer. So having an outdated system or way old system is the number one reason why you're facing some situations like that. The number two situation is with the Android stuff, and when you'll be installing the Android, obviously the number one error which is gonna pop up is the Gradle failed sync issue. This is usually due to not having a constant internet connection. So go ahead, get yourself good internet connection and just try that again. It's not a big deal. It's just try that again and it's gonna just resolve like that. So these are the two important situations. Now let's just go ahead and talk about what are the things that we will be requiring to make sure that our course goes smoothly like that. Okay, so focus here and try to open all of these tabs at there as well. So first is facebook.github.io/react-native, and this is the documentation you always want to get open up in your browser somewhere whenever you are watching this course or writing code for React Native. Just to give you a brief idea, React Native is very powerful and it produces native apps just like Facebook and Messenger, Skype, Tesla, all of them, Instagram are using React Native, pretty powerful. And yes, it builds native app, not a hybrid app using JavaScript and React. So make sure you go ahead and open that up. Just to give you a quick idea how documentations are helpful, go into the Get Started guide. You don't need to walk through with the entire documentation. I'll be doing all that stuff. You don't need to worry. Just go into building project with React Native code. And you will notice a couple of situations here just to give you a brief idea about that. Like for example, if you're on Mac or Windows, whatever that is, and you want to go with the Android, there is a one small bar here that says that you need to have Android SDK platform 23, which is Marshmallow. Now, no need to worry about it is perfectly compatible with the latest Android version. I'll tell you that how. But just to test the apps, they say that, hey, you should have at least one device that is running Android platform 23, API 23, Marshmallow. So these situations can be handled easily by going into the documentation. I'll be pointing out exact point where you should be looking into documentation, good practice, and deal up with such situations. Right now, you don't need to worry much about it, okay? So just make sure you get the link and keep it open somewhere, okay? Next thing is, now obviously we'll be writing a lot of code in JavaScript. Obviously we need some kind of good editor. The choice of editor here is gonna be Atom. I will be providing you some snippets here that you can copy and paste in your Atom snippet editor so that we can just fast forward the production of some pre-written code which always needs to be there. So I'll be handling that situation as well. But I know here some people are really about Sublime Text. They are a big fan of that. So go ahead, you can just use that if you're already using that. No harsh feeling for that. But my snippets is only going to be working for Atom. So if you know your way around the Sublime Text, so just go ahead and use Sublime if you are a big fan of that. No problem. Okay, next thing is Node.js. Now, when we'll be working with the React Native, a lot of time we'll be installing some dependencies, and installing some dependencies is super easy with Node. Without Node, this course is not gonna work. You don't need to understand everything about Node. You just need to have installed it. Whatever the commands we will be working it, I'll be explaining it on the go. So no need to be a Node.js expert, just have a Node with you. You might be asking what version of Node. Now we are gonna work with the Node LTS version. LTS stands for long-term support. We are recommending this because it was meant to be for a long time there. The current version is there, it's good, but it's not as much as stable as the LTS version is. So whatever the LTS version is, it might be 8.9.3, might be 8.9.4, 5, whatever that is, go ahead and grab yourself LTS. This package, it's available for both Mac, Windows, and Linux. So just grab your one. Like for the Mac guys, go ahead, get yourself a PKG file. Windows guys, go ahead, get yourself a MSI, which is Microsoft Installer. And Linux guys, you already know your way around. So grab that and it will give you two things, the node as well as NPM automatically being installed on your system. We'll talk about more in the later on videos. Just go ahead, grab yourself. Okay, now comes the interesting situation. Now, dealing up with the React Native involves two processes, one with Expo, one without Expo. In this entire course, we'll be working with Expo. Expo is a way of fast forwarding the process of designing the React Native app. It's no such amazingly different with React Native basic one, but it's a little bit advanced and it saves more time. So we'll be using the Expo. And working with the Expo is pretty simple. Let me walk you through with that as well, what you'll be needing here. So go ahead here and we'll be needing the development tools for Expo. So go ahead, click on the development tools. And then what we'll be needing first of all is the Expo app. So whatever the device you're using, you might be using an Android device like I'm using here, or you might be using an iOS device. App is available for both. So go ahead, click on this and download the Expo app for your device, whether it's a mobile of iOS or Android, just get yourself. The next thing that we need here is the Expo XDE for desktop. We don't need SDK, we don't need CLI, we don't need that. Just go ahead, get yourself. Just click on this download from GitHub. It will take you onto the GitHub repository. For Mac guys, you might want to get a straightforward DMG here, just a quick installer. And Windows guys, you saw the exe there, so go ahead, get yourself. Linux guys, again, you know your way around. So there we go. Okay. And just go ahead and install that as well. Pretty simple. It will ask you to create an account. So go ahead, create an account. No big deal. Your code will not be shared with everyone just by creating an account. So it's completely okay. We do use Expo in-house as well. So no need to worry about. Get yourself Expo. Okay. Although we can just work around with all these things, but there are a couple of things that may be required. Okay. It's not sure. If you are just working with Expo, you don't need much of that, but still you may need it. Okay, so the goal here is to get yourself Xcode as well as Android Studio as well. Now for Windows guys, you cannot have Xcode, so you cannot test your app for iOS, but it will be working fine. So I'll be showing you a couple of ways how you can test that as well. But for rest of the guys, Android is common for both of you. You might want to get that, okay? So in order to install the Android, you might want to first get JDK. So go ahead, search on JDK. The link is actually pretty buried down, so search on Google about JDK. Click on that and we need a Java, whatever the latest version is. Remember, you need a JDK, Java Development Kit, and accept the license term agreement and get yourself Java and install that. Pretty easy. Now, next thing that we need is Android Studio. Now go ahead, get yourself latest Android Studio. I'll walk you through the latest process of installing the Android Studio, setting up your AVD, Android virtual device, and all of these later on. I'll include some of the videos from my Android course. So that's what we'll be doing. And for Mac guys, go ahead, get yourself Xcode. You don't need to download it from here. Get yourself from the App Store. It's available there. So these are quite a lot of things that we want to have. Now in the next video, I'll walk you the way that how things can work with the Expo and without the Expo as well. So in the meantime, go ahead, get yourself all these things and just install them. And I'll put up some of the videos about Android and stuff that. So go ahead, get yourself that. But make sure that you have at least Atom installed and Node.js installed and Expo installed and account is being created there. Okay. So I know this is quite a lot of stuff, but that's the only typical part. Writing code in React Native is super easy. So I'll catch you up in the next video.